Welcome in, guys, and yes, the challenge, two-man team for ranked. You want to know something though? It wasn't even planned. We was in the lobby, we had three. I was not even paying attention. By the time we got to this part of the screen, we had entered the game, and I was thinking, oh my god, Hyperbolic was like, dude, we haven't got one guy. Do you want to continue or not? And I didn't even answer him throughout the whole waiting lobby. I'm just standing there like some sort of statue, not responding to him. And he's probably thinking, Set, what the hell are we doing? Are we going or are we fighting? What are we doing? And I'm just standing there, not even responding to him, not even giving him anything until once we get in the actual game. And that's when I realize, oh crap, we've just entered ranked as a two-man. So we had no choice. That's what I was trying to tell him on the chat. I'm like, I didn't even know. You know, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. So we just had to buckle up and get this impromptu challenge going. The two-man versus ranked lobby. Hyperbolic running the Mount Lady. Hyperbolic is a very, very solid Mount Lady. You can always feel at ease when Hyperbolic Core is watching your exterior. That's why it's called Hyperbolic Core. Because the way your core supports your body is the way core supports you. What am I even trying to say here? I don't even know. Just sort of stopped and was like, forget about it. Probably sensed in the back of my head this Mr. Compress. You see the way he got grabbed in by my the double beta. He got grabbed in by, because I didn't expect to get him the first time. He got grabbed in by my gamma because he did that into it. Here's the thing. When you're running, this is the thing. It's probably never going to be on purpose. Oh, I'm starting to remember this match more now. Yeah, here's the thing. When you find yourself in this kind of situation, where you are doing a two-man versus a ranked lobby, and it could be because you loaded in as a two. It could be because your third died at the start. That's a lovely pull-in. Call me Scorpion. It could be because your third, died very early on, then decided to just leave instantaneously. You know those ones, it happens. Your third dies and he goes, man, screw all of you guys. He might even have a point. You might even be, the reason why he left. But the fact remains, you are basically going to have to do the match as a 2 versus a 3. What should you be doing for that? So as you can see, this is our challenge of it right now. Again, not intentional, but challenge nonetheless. What you really want to be doing is knowing who your primary targets are. So whether you looked at your opponents in the pre-game, or whether you're trying to see any names you recognize during the game, you need to know who your biggest problems are. In this game, I figured out that my biggest problem was a Shigaraki and a Kirishima, because I knew those guys were certified ace rank players who were quite strong. So as a two-man team, those guys are going to be even more worrisome for you because you don't have, an entire team to look out for you. So it's only yourself and your partner. So that means you need to be screwed on for any potential opportunities to third-party them or to catch them unaware. Because when you're facing good players in the lobby and you're at a disadvantage of only having two players on your team, with yourself being one of them, that means you are going to need to take the best teams in the lobby by surprise so you can try to mitigate some of that 3v2 advantage that they will have over you if they get you straight up facing one another. So at this point here, I recognized early on, see when we was fighting in that building and we left it, I recognized early on that I saw the Shigaraki and there was a Kirishima near him. So I believed, okay, this is the team we need to get out because they're our biggest threat from what I remember in the lobby. So when I saw them fighting, I pushed them. And thankfully Hyperbolic, I don't think Hyperbolic knew, they just thought they was coming to back me up. But because they came and backed me up, I was able to take the fight to this Kirishima and to this, what's it called, Shigaraki, while they was in the middle of something. And I think during that whole fight that they was having over there, like on the edge of the zone, they lost their third. So they lost their third, and it became a somewhat of a 2 versus 2. And that's how we was able to get out the biggest threat. Like 2 very good ace players. By basically choosing our opportunities and making the most out of our timing. Whereas if we had let these guys do whatever they want, go get their res for their third, you know, they've all got level 9 perks, blah, blah, blah. That could have been way more harder in the end. But because even as a 2, we knew, like, you know, hey, this is what we have to do here. With our disadvantage, this is what we need to do to make sure the advantage comes back to us. That's how we managed to turn the game around and, you know, catch probably our biggest threat in a moment of distraction, which allowed us to flip the script, so to speak. So that's something that we did. And that's basically what I'm explaining to you there is what you should be doing. If you find yourselves in a situation where you are a 2 facing a ranked lobby. Again, either because you loaded into it by accident without noticing, or your third leaves incredibly early. Notify yourself, who do you need to look out for? What names do you recognize in the lobby? Who do you think is giving you the most trouble? And then try to hit those guys when they're in the middle of fighting another team. Try to hit those guys when they're in the middle of looting and haven't seen you. Try to hit those guys when they're at a low point. And in that way, you can take out your biggest threats, even though they have advantage over you, by finding them at points in the game where they're at disadvantage. And if you see them before that, don't engage. Try to not engage. If you run into them and they're just all chilling out, they've all got full health, full shields, they're like, hey, there's 2 guys here. You need to get out of there. Hopefully before they see you. If they see you, it might be hard to escape. But if you notify yourself of the situation beforehand, just walk away and try to come and get them again when it makes more sense. Because you are at a disadvantage by having only 2 people against the lobby. So you need to pick your moments wisely. So there is some tips for the average player who might find themselves in a 2v3 lobby situation. And hopefully that will help you if you ever do get into an incident like that. Thankfully, me and Hyperbolic, we managed to put our heads together and pull out a nice W, even though the card was stacked against us. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that little challenge, completely unplanned. But yeah, I had to record that one because I knew you guys might enjoy it. Might get something of value out of it. So without further ado, let's get straight into the next game. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of that. The comments I made, the tips. Are they going to help you in the future? Is that what you've been doing as well? Have you had a 2 versus 3 situation where you won a lobby or came close? Let me know. I'd love to know what your experience is with that kind of thing. And game 2, another fun one for you guys. Playing with Palpy Moon and Dynamites. Look at that. What a rusty start that was. This bug. Oh my god. That Aizawa saved that dude so nicely. And that Bakugo has no idea. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'll be that guy. Give me those points. You know? Honestly, having someone just be AFK on your team at the start is so annoying. Like, I would be so frustrated if I was his teammate and I saw that. Even like someone not, you know, being around to the point where they didn't drop with you, even that's annoying. So knowing that they'd be completely AFK or AFC away from controller and console was would be enough to wind me up. I see a lot of All-For-Ones, they don't use their beta the way I just did there. Like, they're so used to using that beta only after the gamma, and if the gamma is not used, then the beta doesn't get used either. But you really can use the beta without the gamma if you're aware of when it's a good time to actually do so. See, on that point there, I was expecting the Mr. Compress to be still in the middle of his climbing animation by the time that finished, but I was wrong. I was wrong. This was a really frantic start. Everyone just kind of was around everywhere. When you are like somewhat low health and there's an eater on your back, it is not fun. It is not fun at all. Probably the worst guy to have chasing you at low health. But I managed to slip him. Amid all the chaos, I managed to slip him. Fortunately, I think Dynamite gets caught here. Yeah, they got the lad. They got him. But no discredit to him, you know. Those kind of situations where there's about 4 different ways where attacks could come at you from. The longer you stay in it, the more the more prone you are to becoming a statistic, you know. You just do not want to be in one of those places for any longer than you have to be. Who do you guys think is going to be the new character to come out in season, what are we on now, 5 of this game? Season 5, I think. Momo-chan. That all for cannons. I'm hearing a lot of people say it's going to be Mirio. I know of the leaks, but I don't necessarily know the details of the leaks a lot of the time. So as for who's coming next, I don't really know exactly, but a lot of people are saying Mirio, so it seems like it could be him. Lemillion, for those who don't know him by that name. That Denki on Denki crime. How can one Denki start another? I thought they was in this together. It's funny because you can actually see Momo's attacks making sense more than herself doing it when All-For-One is doing it, because if All-For-One was swinging that thing around, it would be that kind of effect, and if All-For-One was charging around with that shield, it definitely would be that effect. He'd knock anyone out of his way. You know, he has the quirks to be that strong. Oh, I was so close there, but I think I misjudged it. Looking back on your gameplay is always a good idea if you want to improve, because you just notice things that you're not going to notice in the moment. When I play All-For-One and I do the gamma pull-in, if I'm expecting someone to retaliate to me, I'll always try to just get out of there sooner rather than later, because some players will just immediately hit you. So you kind of need to be moving toward an exit or moving towards a point of visual blocking. Otherwise, you know, an All Might will just beta charge you or gamma charge you as soon as you're done with your side of the attack. and then it's his turn to be able to recover. So you should always try to position yourself when using the gamma to either put yourself in a state where you can't be retaliated against immediately, or you kind of have to cut your move short so you can drop sooner. And if you drop sooner, it means you can get to the left or the right sooner, which might be the difference between you. That was a nice play by the Chaco there. It might be the difference between you getting caught or not by their instantaneous reaction. That whatever it was that she threw at me there, it felt personal because she threw that with such a like fuck you, you know, kind of energy. It was actually kind of disrespectful. Whatever, I wasn't even sure if it was it was a car. She threw that car with such just like, you know, like damn, what the hell happened to you? Nearly got me again there. When you're a character like All-For-One, you can't really get away from anyone there. You see how I got away from both an All Might and an Ochako as base All-For-One just by circling around a building. Really hard cornering a building. You know, you can scroll back and watch it if you want. It's just because the angling was so tight, it was just hard for them to follow me. Not to say that if they really kept at it, that they, you know, wouldn't eventually catch me, but it's just a case of sometimes in this game, it's not even about losing someone. Sometimes it's just about making them lose their patience. Abunai. And I was really Momoing it up in this one. Wow, don't you just love a surprise derby trap? Gorodein. I love catching someone in a gamma pool as All-For-One when that specific person has been pissing me off. You know, when someone has been pissing you off for like 5 minutes and then you finally catch him in that gamma pool, you're like, I've got you, you little fuck. And then you just go all in on that person. It's even better if you get a down. Like, if you get a down, that's when you really feel vindicated and all of my suffering was worth it. All of my suffering led to this moment. How can I have 4,000 damage with 1k on 1 assist? That is criminal. That All Might was really thinking he was about to bust me up there. I had to do that plus ultra. I had no choice. I had no choice. When I first jumped in the air, I was about to do the spiciest gamma known to man. Then I got caught by one thing, and then Deku hit me afterwards. I was thinking, man, such a missed opportunity there. That get me in the tube. How convenient was that? Picking that up immediately. Love it. Hello, Teach. See what I mean? That instantaneous replay. That dude was mashing his buttons as I put him in that gamma like, just you fucking wait. You know, just you fucking wait, you son of a bitch. And he meant it. As soon as I was done doing my stuff, I was like, okay, your turn. And then I was just getting kicked in the face before I could even finish. Which is how most of my one night stands go. Gosh. That sounds very incriminating now that I think about it. Sometimes when you get pulled in by an All-For-One gamma, it is really just the best move to immediately plus ultra. Not always, like I said, it really does depend on the situation. You have to look at your shields, then you have to look at your health, and then you have to think, is this going to be worth it? Am I going to be really, you know, hard done if I don't do this? So, you guys saw it in one of my previous Bakugo videos when I did the 1v3 at the end. Oh, look at that. I pulled in the whole family. There'll be a headline out there after that one. Not having that beta there for that, even though this was, you know, in the past and I'm just rewatching this game, I still felt the same level of frustration watching it right there. I love throwing charged alpha. Oh, what a spiteful guy that was hitting me there. I love throwing a charged alpha in an area where I know that it's just going to hit someone just purely off the basis of the amount of well, the lack of room they have to maneuver. The more I watch this video, the more I think I should have just done a Momo All-For-One thumbnail. But it's too late now. I'm committed to it. This is the second match of the 2v3 lobby challenge for ranked. But I mean, I didn't even know that the back end of this match was kind of 2v3 as well. Obviously, it's not the same because we didn't load in with it. But you can see a lot of the same things applied. You know, fighting most of the lobby as a 2v3 because your teammate went down fairly early on. You know, there's just a different level of... Look at that. I felt like a true idiot when I tried to do that. And messed up so badly. There really is a different mentality and a different like sense of urgency and positioning that you need to have when you are approaching the game from a 2v3 standpoint. When I say 2v3, I don't mean 2 teams left and it's 2v3. I mean, you know, there's like 5, 6 teams left, maybe more. Maybe even 4 teams. And, you know, they've all probably got 3 and you've definitely got 2. You know, that's when you really need to adjust your line of thinking. It becomes less about, you know, fighting teams mano a mano and more about how can I fuck this team over? How can I fuck that team over? How can I make that team not see this coming? How can I make this team think they know what's happening with that team but not know what's happening with my team? You just have to approach it way differently. For the average player, of course, if you are a god gamer and there's 2 of you and, you know, you walk down the street and people compliment you on how developed your fingers are, I don't know. Maybe you'll be fine without these tips. But for the average person that plays this game, you know, those tips could be very helpful to them. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think I'm just going to leave those 2 games there for today. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully some of the advice in there helps you out in the future. Hopefully you found it entertaining, if not. And if you just absolutely hated this video and everything within it, hit a dislike for me. But if you do think that the video wasn't too bad, then throw a like on it. Leave a comment if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, brush your teeth and stuff. Bye.